Tech Month, Cyber Month, Technology Month's coming to a close. It's so hard to believe that here we are at the end of June, which means that we're at the end of Q2. We're halfway through this business year, unless you work on some weird fiscal year like the government, October to October, whatever. But you know what I mean. We are halfway through this calendar year. And we are drawing to a close what has been a really educational and very exciting month for us. Tech Month has been great. We've had some really incredible guests. We've had some good webinars on like cybersecurity and whatnot. And this final presentation, as I'm waiting for LinkedIn to just boot up here. If you can't see me on LinkedIn, I'm so sorry. StreamYard, what can you do? But this presentation is going to be great because we're introducing to you a group of folks who are doing some incredible things in the area of tech, particularly in the area of cybersecurity, and specifically with veterans in mind, and veteran talent pipelines in mind. So the Wisconsin Cyber Threat Response Alliance is a group of people who train apprentice transitioners and veterans and military family members and get them through this employment pipeline and get them like real world hands-on skills. Are we not on LinkedIn yet? Is that really just not even up yet? My goodness. If you can see me on LinkedIn right now, I would appreciate if you would drop a comment. Oh, there I am. Must be user error. There I am with my pink shirt. Okay. But anyways, these guys are great. And so this is veteran run. This is veteran staffed. It is a talent training pipeline that gets veteran and transitioning service members into lucrative careers in tech that they can support their families with and support themselves with and do something great. Cybersecurity is important. You can't tell me cybersecurity is not important. Whether you're medium, small, large size business, heck, personally, your cybersecurity is more important than it ever was because the threats continue to mount. I'm going to be very, very excited to chat with these very smart veteran gentlemen here right after this. Gosh, I love that song. You know, I gotta apologize. It wasn't my best intro. I was distracted by LinkedIn seemingly not, being on the live stream, but I'm glad to be live right now on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch. If you are watching, please drop a comment and say hello. If you have questions, comments, concerns, if you'd like to comment on my pink shirt, which is not something I wear very often. Heck, we can talk about whatever. It really doesn't matter. But I'm happy to bring to the show Michael, Jerry, and Sean. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Well, how are you, Adam?
Doing great. Jerry, you're still muted. Sean, this is your opportunity to say hi.
Hi, everyone. How you doing?
Hello, everyone. We're very excited to bring you some information on what we do.
You betcha. Yeah, we're very excited about this. So I just want to go around in a circle. And if you could introduce yourself, who do you work for, a little bit, about your history that brought you to this point, so we can, oh, hey, we got a comment already. Facebook wins the first comment award. Dave says, hi, welcome to Wictra. Hi, Dave. Thank you for watching, sir. Appreciate you. Let's start with Jerry. Let's go in a circle. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So my name's Jerry, and welcome, Mr. Reuter. He is a close friend of mine.
Oh, cool.
And I'm a retired lieutenant colonel, started out as an E2 and did about 33 years in the National Guard and went through transition. I was full-time, and transition was difficult. I was pretty old. I was about 53, and everyone says they want to hire veterans, but it's really difficult when you're older and high ranking to find a place for your second career.
You bet.
And it's really important to me to have a reason to get out of bed.
Mhm.
And one of my mentors told me, you have to figure out what you want to do, how hard do you want to do it, and where do you want to do it. Sounds really easy, right? It's very difficult to.
That should be simple, right?
Yeah, but it's incredibly difficult to execute. So here I am. I was an infantry armor guy, and now I'm doing cyber.
And are you the founder of Wictra then?
Yes, we incorporated as a 501c3 in August of 17, and we're coming into our fourth year, staffed by all veterans, as you said. Three of us, in fact, I think all of us are combat vets. Sean is one of our interns. I have a warrant officer, and we have a corporal that were both in the war, and I myself did a tour in Afghanistan. So it's very important to me to continue service to the nation and the citizens, and to give back to the veterans as best I can.
And it seems like you're doing just that. I think that's super cool, and I appreciate what you're doing. Let's go to Michael. Do you prefer Mike?
I've been called worse, so whatever is fine. My name is Michael Patton. I teach at UW Oshkosh. I am not a veteran, but often have veterans in my classes, and almost without exception, they are the ones that I can count on for being good team players, getting work in on time, just work harder than anyone just about that we have in class. So I'm a big supporter of the veteran community, and love working with Jerry. He's been great to work with.
Outstanding. Excited to learn more about that educational pipeline. Let's get to know Sean a little bit. Sean, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey everyone, I'm Sean Cannon. I was a former C-130 Loadmaster in Texas, and Jerry gave me the opportunity to come up to Wisconsin and then learn about cyber and dip my toe into it. So I learn if I want to do that for my future career or not.
Well, okay. So what's the verdict?
I like it so far. Giving me
cool.
a lot of good information about it, and getting me hands-on working with servers and different software programs and Linux, things like that. So it's really cool.
Do you have was this your first time coming to Wisconsin, or were you from Wisconsin originally, or what?
So yeah, originally I was from Wisconsin, little town called Mayville. It's like 5,000 people, but
okay.
Joined the Air Force right out of high school, and then went down to Texas for that. Got to travel the world a little bit, deployed to Africa and Afghanistan, came back. But I really wanted just some family time and more time to see my friends, things like that. Yeah. And cyber is a job that will give me that opportunity. And Jerry's the one to provide that. And Chad Schaefer, he's not on here, but he's my teacher right now.
Right on. And absolutely, these are lucrative opportunities. And these are opportunities that aren't going anywhere. Cybersecurity is a burgeoning field. It's not going anywhere. Jerry, can you tell us about your inspiration behind what was the need that you saw, not just in the area of cybersecurity, but also in the veteran community, and how did you see the veteran community fulfilling that need better than maybe any other demographic?
I think it's really our work ethic. I've interviewed hundreds of people during my time in the service. And if you think about it, hire for attitude, train for skill. As a senior leader, we're supposed to be able to provide training and figure out what you need to make you successful, and then give you the reins and let you go and learn. Some time ago, back in December of 16-ish, I was talking to some friends of mine in the utilities, and we decided that there was a gap in information sharing at the state level. And that's kind of how it all started. And I figured out who to talk to, get some great partners, and start building a very small, highly passionate staff. And quite honestly, all of the people that I have, I would readily share with my foxhole with. I trust them completely. And I think that's a huge advantage because I know these people, I know where they came from and what they've been through.
Mm-hmm. Right on. And so you've seen the quality of the veteran, the typical veteran. Obviously, we're not a monolith. We're not all the same. But you've seen the qualities and the traits that make veterans excel in this field, and you saw a need in the area of cybersecurity. So you just decided, I'm going to launch a nonprofit and create the pipeline. And is that the overarching goal of the organization, is to get veterans trained and in high paying jobs in cybersecurity?
You know, our vision is to share information and network, and however we fill the pipeline, whether it's a traditional student or non-traditional, and I will raise my hand as a non-traditional. I didn't study cyber. We have a saying, I'm conversation and dolphin. Michael is fluent, and Sean is just learning. And we're all at different levels, but we can all do it, and we all play a role. And it's all about the team. We don't wear rank, if you will. Sean is just as important as the next person, and he has just as outstanding ideas, and we include him in at every level. So
Right on.
it's all about the team.
We got a good comment from Chuck. Cybersecurity is a great field for our veterans. It is. And everything we've heard this month in Tech Month, everything we've talked about has been, that veterans are, generally speaking, very well suited for tech related industries and positions. Now, and Richard says he's taking a cybersecurity boot camp training at UW-Madison. Outstanding. Upgrade your skills. And he says, I'm also a veteran, U.S. Army, served in Korea and Germany, 70 to 75. Well, we appreciate your service, sir, and we appreciate the foundation that you built for our country and for us. We stand on the shoulders of giants. You appreciate your service, sir, for sure. Is that the right phrase? You stand on the shoulders of giants? Did I say that right? I would hate to do a turn of phrase and then just like completely butcher it, but we appreciate you, sir. Michael, I see you unmuted, and you're the guy I was going to talk to next. Where do you come into all this? Are you the person that is the training curriculum developer? How do you get people from point A to point B?
So how Jerry and I got connected was like many UW system schools, we were a little behind the eight ball on cyber, and I would say that's been true pretty much across the board. And so as we were looking to ramp up a cybersecurity program in the traditional academic sense, a mutual friend put me in touch with Jerry. And originally, when I talked to Jerry, I was just thinking about supplementing what we do in the classroom. And the more I talked to him, the more we had longer conversations. I recognized that what Jerry and his organization can do is really be a strategic partner in a cybersecurity center for excellence that we're establishing here at UW-Oshkosh. And that Wictra can bring in their cyber range, their expertise, their connections to help us make it more than just a classroom academic experience, and really make it hands-on and make it something that really fits into that Wisconsin idea of not just educating students here at the university, but really being a resource to the community, whether it be retraining or upskilling veterans, whether it be using the skills and resources we have here at the university and with Wictra to help businesses and even general population with cybersecurity threats. Because as you've pointed out, and as Jerry said, cybersecurity is something that is of concern to everybody, from the protecting your Facebook account level all the way up to DoD and that kind of stuff. And so, as you said, it's a burgeoning career. It's a burgeoning industry. We are so lacking in the pipeline. It's ridiculous. And really, whether it's merely evangelism or getting the skills to really, be a high-end cybersecurity professional, there is an opening in all of that for everyone. And so we love working with Jerry and his team. At UW-Oshkosh, we do have a great tradition of working with veterans And so this just seems like a natural partnership.
So what you're saying is, for anybody that may be in or interested in, or maybe someday could be entertaining the idea of developing skills in a career in tech, especially in cybersecurity, you're saying there's a demand, and that demand is not currently being met.
That is absolutely true. There's a website that Jerry pointed me toward a while back that basically it goes out and looks at all job postings on all the platforms for cybersecurity professionals. And just here in the Fox Valley, so I'm talking basically from Fond du Lac up to Green Bay, there were 200 in the last 12 months cybersecurity jobs posted just in that area. That's not Milwaukee. That's not Madison. That's not Chicago. That's in our relatively, small area. And so whether you're looking to stay where you are, whether you're looking to move, there is going to be an opportunity to have a cybersecurity job with the right training and skill set.
It brings me to a great segue. We just had an awesome question. It's almost like we planned this. We didn't, but Court says, current Intel officer looking at my options as I'm nearing retirement. Absolute perfect target. Good on you for looking ahead to your transition. Not a lot of people plan effectively. So good on you. Keep planning, keep networking. Network like your life depends on it, because it does. That's my advice to everybody transitioning. I have little cyber experience. I've only relayed cyber threats as necessary for my job in the military. What would be the best transition route into the cyber world? And whoever wants to field this, either Jerry or maybe even Sean, because he has the firsthand experience and he's currently in a skill bridge. Isn't that right?
Yeah, so I guess I'll start it off here, but yeah, I had no experience with cyber at all. Since I came straight out of high school, I was loadmaster. I got to travel the world and everything like that. But once I was done with my 4 years, I really didn't have any job experience that would be applicable to cyber, or a lot of different careers, actually. So maybe I could work at FedEx or something like that, but that's about it. But yeah, so I found Wictra online, just doing the Skill Bridge program. So that's, I don't know if you can do it as an officer, but for enlisted, that's a 6-month program where while you're still in, you can go and go find a new job skill set, basically. And so they're setting you up with a company that will give you the skills that you'll need to get into that career. So Jerry, if you want to take it from here.
Before Jerry says something, I just want to answer
Sure.
the question that you just posed there, Sean. I just looked it up. If you go to dodskillbridge.usalearning.gov, Court, it says any rank, enlisted or officer, may apply for SkillBridge. SkillBridge permits you to use up to the last 180 days of service to train and learn with an industry partner. And one of those partners right now is Wictra. And that is how that's how Sean was introduced to Jerry, I believe. And Jerry, do you want to talk a little bit more about that process for someone like Court who's interested in potential post-service career in cyber? Where should she get started? Oh, you're muted, Jerry. There you go.
I blame old age. So, Court, there's several ways to jump into the field. We partner very closely with the Cyber Warfare Range in Arizona. They have, if you happen to be there, that's awesome. They have 3 ranges on the ground, and they have virtual training as well. Our members are members by default with them, and so you can join us as an individual, and then we can hook you into virtual training. The other option is to look for a highly, I don't want to say accredited, but respected university or tech school in the area. You will need some education, higher education, simply as it's a discriminator when you're going out to get jobs and certificates and stuff. So, you're welcome to contact us at info.wictra.org, and we'll be happy to give you some information because it's way too hard to point you in the right direction, in a few minutes.
Right on. Well, Court, if you want to expand on that, if you're still watching, Court, we appreciate you. And if you don't mind sharing, how far are you away from your transition? Because that matters as far as your eligibility for SkillBridge or otherwise. Yeah, how far away, and general idea where are you located? You don't have to give us anything precise. Sean, I think a lot of people worry when they transition about how they're going to handle finances. So as you're doing SkillBridge with the last 180 days of service, are you continuing to pull on your active duty salary and basic allowance for housing? Is that how you pay the bills while you're getting trained?
Yeah, Adam. So I'm getting paid just as if I was doing full-time work back in Texas. So finances aren't really an issue right now. And once you're at the end of your contract, that's when maybe you'd already know what you'd want to do or go to school or find a job, something like that after that. But during SkillBridge, you're set, you're fine.
That's amazing. So, and healthcare is covered and all that same stuff. So SkillBridge is an incredible opportunity. And Jerry, so you mentioned higher education, and typically during that education upgrade is when a lot of transitioning members struggle financially or believe that they may struggle financially. And I know there are a lot of apprenticeship programs out there that are certified to the extent that they can use their post 9/11 GI Bill education benefits and at least collect that basic allowance for housing while they're upgrade training to kind of fill the gap. Is that something that they can do through your program, or is that something, am I imagining that?
Well, we can't do it through our program just yet. We are working on something like that with our partners in Arizona.
Cool.
Wisconsin I was part of a pilot program to build a cybersecurity analyst apprenticeship at the state level. And I'd have to go back in my network of contacts and check on that, where the progress is. So the state is looking for it, and they recognize the value in that apprenticeship program in cybersecurity. How far along they are I don't know. And I think Michael would probably have some insight from the educational side too. And, what we're going to do in the future with the cyber range at UW Oshkosh. That really falls right into what you're talking about.
Well, go ahead, Michael, if you can expand on that.
Yeah, so this Cybersecurity Center of Excellence is going to be, I would say, kind of a bridge between the traditional university and what Jerry does with Wictra. It will be part of the university, but the partnership with Wictra will be a critical part of it. And we will ideally be looking to not only offer traditional educational opportunities, right, labs and classes and all those things, but we'll need people to man the center. And so whether it be work study, whether it be an apprenticeship, to graduate from the UW Oshkosh College of Business, you must have an internship before you graduate. And 99% of our internships are paid and generally paid pretty well. The small percentage that isn't is if someone chooses to do an internship with, say, a not-for-profit that can't afford it. But otherwise, they're almost always paid internships. The other thing I would like to emphasize, and this may sound weird coming from someone who's at a traditional four-year educational institution, the higher ed that Jerry talked about, I think, especially since cyber is such a new space to be working in, is right now, even though education is a discriminator, there are lots of different places and different stamps of approval that you can get. So yes, there are obviously the four-year institutions and the two-year tech schools, but there's also industry certifications like CCISP that are run by organizations like InfoSec and others like that can also validate your skills. But I really want to emphasize the thing that you said before, Adam, and that you are so right on the head. Network like your life depends on it, because it does. It's amazing how many jobs are obtained because somebody knew somebody or someone was recommended by somebody, et cetera. Network.
Right on. Yeah, I'm a big fan of networking. I talk about it all the time, especially on the show. Court just had another comment. Thanks, guys. I've only heard bits and pieces of SkillBridge here and there, so your explanation has been helpful. I'm about a year out from retirement unless I decide to stay in the Wisconsin Guard. Excellent. Well, this may be a very valuable connection for you then. First of all, you need to be looking at SkillBridge. I'm not sure is SkillBridge for Guard Reserve, or is it just active duty? It may not be a good fit if you're in the Guard. Jerry's shaking his head no.
No, SkillBridge is really for active duty, but Court, there's every chance that we have crossed paths. I've only been out for I'm coming up on 3.5 years since I retired. I was on the joint staff down at state headquarters. So we'll figure out a way I'll find you on LinkedIn and we'll see if we can help you out.
There you go. And Court, if you can see scrolling across the bottom, wictra.org, reach out to Jerry. And whether the SkillBridge thing is a good fit or not, I would encourage you to look into apprenticeship opportunities. I think, and you mentioned that you'd only heard bits about SkillBridge here and there. And a lot of active duty folks only hear bits about SkillBridge from here and there. And there's a reason for that, because your unit loses you for 180 days at the end of your term. They're required to tell you about it, but they don't have to be enthusiastic about it. Sean, where did you hear about SkillBridge from? And did you have one of those good units that was saying like, you got to do this, man, this is great for your career? Or were you like, or was it one of those like, well, here's a pamphlet on SkillBridge, anyways, get back to work?
Yeah. Well, I've been looking. So I was at my unit. I had good leadership.
Good.
But I was already looking at different jobs. So when I came in, I was thinking about being a pilot and doing that on the civilian side. So I was undecided before. I think I'll do cyber. But in the unit, my commander told me about SkillBridge and what it was. And the education center did a briefing on it too. But it seemed pretty interesting, and I heard that few other people did it, and it seemed like a pretty good program.
Well, that's good. That's something that should absolutely be encouraged. Court, I appreciate your comments. If anybody else has comments from Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, or otherwise, questions about not just SkillBridge, but careers in tech, and in particular through Wictra, this opportunity for you to get hands-on, in trial by fire, you're in there making things happen, applying your training, getting hands-on stuff. Like, if you have questions about that process, please throw them out there. This is a golden opportunity. Jerry, if somebody's watching and saying, I need something different. We got another comment from Court. Thanks. I have a cyber guru coworker who would love to talk with you guys. I'll send him your way to connect. Please do. Please connect them with Wictra. That's really great news. You can tell by talking to Jerry that he is all about getting veterans high-paying jobs and jobs that have security and jobs that have growth opportunities. Jerry, if somebody's watching right now and he or she is saying, I need something different, or I'm about to transition and I'm interested in this, whether they're looking in Wisconsin or not, what do they do? What are their steps? Who should they get in touch with? Is there a national organization that kind of puts them all in one place, or what's the goal here?
Well, I honestly, Wictra is extremely unique in that we are state focused, but our area of interest is the entire United States. I have connections at Johns Hopkins and all over in different skill sets, DHS and CISA and so on. So really what we want to be is kind of this neighborhood information clearing house where we can look at what you're looking for and then try to point you in the right direction or give you a contact. Dave Reuter was just completed SkillBridge. And Dave and I have known each other since probably 1988, off and on. And we've been friends ever since. And we reconnected. He was on active duty. Very likely with Court being at the almost 20-year mark, we probably have crossed paths. I just don't remember. I meet so many people, and her coworker might be somebody that wants to just talk about the upskilling because they're here, but they really want to go maybe over here and up here. They want to go into forensics, or they want to go into something different than what they're doing because maybe they need a new venue to kind of re-engage their passion. We do a lot of different things, and I've worked with small businesses in ransomware and helped them survive. It's incredibly rewarding when you are able to do that.
Right. So in case anyone is curious or maybe even hesitant, and you don't have to go into details here, but as an organization, you're a nonprofit organization, you're not collecting money from your trainees, and you're not collecting money from where you're placing people. You're not like a placement or recruiting firm or whatever that gets paid by an employer. Is that right? So you're not on the take. Your only interest is to help. Is that accurate?
Well, let's be honest here. I mean, we do have memberships, but I'll flat tell you, our membership for individuals is incredibly low. For students, it's even lower. It's not about us being a profit company. It's really about making a difference and protecting our way of life. This is about my kids or my children's children and everyone else. This isn't about me anymore. I mean, bad guys don't really care about me. For instance, I'll tell everybody, one of my snippets of information is, have you done a credit check on your children or your grandchildren? Why do they need credit? Why not freeze it? The reason is the bad guys want to own that identity for years.
Right.
And what if they go to buy a car or something and their identity has been stolen for 15 years? So
Yikes. That's terrifying.
Do you even think about that? Most people don't.
Right.
So do credit checks on your children, whoever's listening. That's, we do a lot of free stuff, and we do, I help whoever will stop and listen. And quite honestly, if you want help, we'll help you. If you blow us off, that's okay. We're okay with that. We have thick skin. Guys like Richard, I applaud him for doing what he's doing and trying something new. And I'd love to meet him. I'm actually heading to Madison to pick up server equipment as soon as we're done. Sometime, Richard, we'll sit down and have some coffee or something.
Yeah, Richard, if you're still watching, reach out here to Jerry. Maybe you guys can grab a coffee quick, while he's traveling over there. We got a couple great comments here. First from Dave, he said, "Cannot overstate the importance of this work considering the highly contested nature of the cyber domain." Yeah, I mean, it's if you don't think this matters, go back in time like 2 weeks to the gas incident over there on the East Coast. Comment from Scott: Jerry and Mike and Sean, you should connect with Scott. Cyber9s is always looking for outstanding veteran interns and employees. Service disabled, veteran owned small business. Cyber9s was a company that we featured in our newsletter here in the last couple of weeks. And they are a veteran friendly employer that are actively seeking the type of folks that are making it through your pipeline. So definitely would be a valuable connection for you guys over there. Scott, I appreciate you commenting. Now, as we're rounding third here, do we have any parting thoughts, closing comments? I want to end with Jerry because he's the founder of the whole thing, but let's start with Sean. Do you have anything else that you want to convey or make sure that people know as they're approaching their transition or considering a new career in tech?
Yeah, sure. So I wasn't really interested in tech or other jobs at first. I really just wanted to fly, but that's a job where maybe I won't be home all the time. And maybe you have a job like that, right? You have to go work all the time at that job. Well, cyber's going to be a great job just because you can do it from home. You can do it at work. You can do it almost anywhere, right? And you can go find a job for that anywhere. So maybe look into it, see if it's for you.
Right on. Don't write it out. Don't write it off, because it may be better of a fit for you and your family and your lifestyle than you may think. Appreciate it, Sean. Appreciate your service as well. Michael, do you have any parting thoughts, parting wisdom?
Yeah, we could spend a whole episode, and maybe you have already, with the horror stories and the really scary things. Jerry talked a little bit about getting your credit check for your kids. You mentioned the hacking of the gas pipeline. I've been reading articles recently about the water supply and the electrical supply, and how vulnerable, especially in rural areas, those things are. But the real thing to remember is, and it's kind of been one of the hidden blessings of COVID land, as we've all had to do things more virtually. While the need has always been there, it's, I think, really awakened people to how much we do rely on these communication methodologies and computer information networks, and how much people have really just kind of tested things out and let them go without really thinking about the security of it. And so this is really a great place if you have any interest at all in logic, in service, in protecting things. This is the place to be. My undergraduate degrees were in political science and French with minors in history. So this isn't something you need to have been thinking about from birth. This is something that if you are willing to put in the work and can think in a logical manner, you can be successful at. And the last thing I want to say is, I would guess most of the universities in the area, whether they be 4-year or 2-year, have some sort of a veterans resource center. That might be another place that you can get in touch if there's a school you're thinking about going to, or at least one in the area, even if you're not looking at their particular programs. Reach out to them, and they might be able to point you into some directions, even though you may not be a student today. Things like the program that Sean's in and others.
Outstanding. Thank you very much, Michael. Richard had a comment. He says, I'd love to meet for coffee, but I live in Pewaukee. Well, maybe you guys can get together some other time. Jerry, do you have any closing parting thoughts you want to make sure that you get across for everybody here?
Well, first of all, Richard, I'll probably be at the Wisconsin Technology Association meeting in Brookfield on the 15th. So
too far away from you?
Yeah. And my point there is, if you're in cyber, join an association to build your network. It is truly about the network, and mine is pretty extensive. My LinkedIn account is Gerald Eastman. Go look at it, and I'll connect with you, because I know people from the CIO level all the way down to analysts, and we need every person. I know Scott Singer and I know each other, so we can work together. It's about building your team and what I call building my spider web of support. I can do many, many things as long as I can work through others, and I can reach out and grab a resource. And I used to call myself a puppeteer by moving resources around, because we never have enough. But if we can reach over here and get a volunteer and reach over here and get one, pretty soon I have, multiplied my skill sets, and I can do so much more. That's why Michael is so important, Sean, and every one of my volunteers that help us run ranges and different things like that. And all you have to do is either get a hold of me on LinkedIn. I will get back to you, or, you can go to our website and just hit contact, and it'll send me an email and we'll get back to you. And, love to help, love to have you as a volunteer. Just do what you can, and we'll help you down the path.
That's a good sentiment, Jerry. I sure appreciate it. Richard says, good, I'll see you there. Give me more info about it. I'll let you guys connect offline and see if you can't meet there on the 15th. Appreciate everybody, not only for watching, but for your engagement. Jerry, Michael, Sean, I'll ask you to hang on the line here for just a minute. Man, that was super cool. What a great organization. And you can tell that they're working together to just give veterans good jobs in a field that makes a really big impact, and reliable employment, and a reliable compensation, and good compensation in a field that's only growing. They want to help. You can tell. So if you haven't entertained it yet, you should entertain the idea of a job in tech, because everything we do is our entire lives are in the cyber domain. Unless something like out of Terminator 2 happens, and there's like Cyberdyne systems and whatever, war against the machine sort of thing. Everything that we do is in the cyber domain, and digital and tech related. You can't sleep on that stuff. And I don't care if you're 50. I don't care if you're 60. I don't care if you're 70. I don't care if you're 90. It doesn't matter. It's never too late to invest in your skills and upgrading your brain matter. It's good stuff. Love that organization. Wisconsin Cyber Threat Response Alliance at Wictra.org. You can see that scrolling across the bottom there. And this ends all our office hours for Tech Month. Next month, we're talking about agriculture and agribusiness. We have some compelling stuff on the horizon. Please stay tuned. Follow the Wisconsin Veterans Chamber of Commerce across all social media platforms. It will make all of your dreams come true. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.